today. All we are is dust in the wind. The post-apocalyptic genre of fiction, ladies and gentlemen, has captivated audiences for decades. There have been numerous games, books, and movies created to cash in on the all is dust genre. Today, we're taking a look at one such post-apocalyptic game, Ashes 2063.
Ashes 2063 is a total conversion for Doom 2 and is best played by using the GZ Doom source port and the Doom mod loader. Ashes 2063 was developed by modder Vostok and was released on December 10th, 2018. An updated and expanded version was released on October 21st, 2021, and that is the version we are looking at today. Ashes 2063 is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter where you play as the Scavenger, aka Scav. First and foremost, despite this being a total conversion for Doom 2, this does not have gameplay altogether that's similar to Doom. This, like most post-apocalyptic games, is rock bloody hard even on the easiest difficulty. Ammo and health are in very short supply, and the enemies are numerous and do a crap ton of damage. The game is a little too difficult for my taste, and I found myself having to cheat in health on a number of occasions. I get it, this is supposed to be a brutal wasteland where even the tiniest mistake is punished severely, but I also want to have fun here, people, so throw me a frickin' bone, or preferably a health pack. If you play the game on relaxed, you will get enough ammo to fight with, but no band-aids. So be ready for a major challenge, or just cheat some health in. The guns that you'll be blasting bastards with are pretty alright. You have a couple pistols, a very well-detailed shotgun, a Flammenwerfer, all good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. The enemies you'll be facing will be both fun and annoying. You have your ranged enemies and they can hurt you a bit, but oh, by the great Talos, do the melee bastards hurt a lot. These crazed cannibal killers take a good number of hits to take down with your bullet shooters, so it's time to go Gordo Freeman on their asses and bash their ugly human-eating mugs in with your crowbar. This kills them in just a few hits and saves your ammo for the ranged bastards. If there was just a little more health, this combat would be really bloody fun. But as it is, it gets a bit frustrating, but you can just turn a corner and literally just get splattered no matter how well you play. Get good or cheat in health. Ashes gives you a lamp for dark areas, and it works well enough, although the game never got dark enough that I felt like I really needed it. You have a rad counter, and this is a neat concept, but only comes into play in a very few areas. You get a Harley Davidson, and despite the difficulty of the shooting, you can just start it right up without adjusting the choke for 20 minutes. The mod is very impressive for even having vehicle segments, and these control alright. It's a bit floaty, but does add to the overall excellent experience, and the levels are large enough that it feels like you are riding a sizable distance. You don't have to worry about vehicle fuel or health, but you still gotta worry about your health, and while riding your bike around the wasteland, the level architecture can be more dangerous than the goddamn enemies. So what about them levels? Well, as you can see, they are super bloody detailed and super bloody huge, and you guessed it, super bloody awesome! Gameplay still kind of breaks down to collect key, get to exit, but since this is a modern Doom mod, we have some scripting here and there and it works really well, and gives you a modern experience while still maintaining many of the classic aspects of this type of game. You also have some context-sensitive stuff to play with as well, but best of all is the limited character interactions. After a few missions, you will make it to a town where you can talk to characters and take on side quests and buy items. This makes for some great immersion, and while this is not the only Doom mod to feature this sort of character interaction, this is one of the best written, and by talking to people you learn more about the world of Ashes 2063. This is a Doom mod that I highly recommend. While the shooting is a bit harder than I like, it's nothing a little health cheat can't solve, and the story and world are compelling as all hell. If you've never played it, give it a download and start typing "give health" until you beat it. Now, graphically, this is a hell of a wad. There are a good number of new textures and sprites, with minimal obvious reuses of classic 90s textures. I did spot a few Duke doors and some Shadow Warrior switches along the way, and there's even a couple Hexen corpses, but it's all good, as most of the game looks 100% fresh. This mod runs really well, and I got sweet 60 the entire time, even in the giant city level. I also got no crashes, nor did the quest OS just bug out. Sound is quite good, and while I'm certain some of the sounds must come from other games, none of them were obvious, to me at least, and thus Ashes has its own audio identity. The enemies sound sufficiently scary, and all the guns sound powerful. Music for the game is all original. It was composed by John S. Weekly and is one of the major standout elements of the game. See, back in the good old days, games were not just one concept done to death. Instead, they were whole packages. You had game design, sound, and music to give you an unforgettable experience. And the music for this game is unbloody forgettable and takes a damn good mod and makes it worthy of a paid release. Mr. Weekly does not deliver a weak soundtrack in the slightest. The beats for this feature some John Carpenter influences, especially in the title track, and all the others will ensure that you'll be having a good enough time to not quit the game after having been gutted for the 50th time by a cannibal. Cheat health. Story for the game is, as you would imagine, top tier, cream of the crop, amazing, and that is not an exaggeration either. You play as Scab, and his story is pure post-apocalyptic goodness. His player model looks amazing, although he's gotta be dying of heat stroke and all that crap. And speaking of crap, when you go to Scab's hideout, what has he got? Dun dun dun, a rage poster that survives the end of the world? Ugh. Anyway, story is told primarily through text, both in-game and in end-of-level text screens. The main plot of the game kicks off when Scab finds a radio and hears some numbers being read by a female voice. Who is it? What is it? Only you can find out in the grim and dark wasteland of Ashes 2063.
While modern gaming might be filled to the brim with crappy cash grabs, the fans know what's up, and they always deliver. If you haven't booted up Ashes 2063 in a while, it's time to cheat in some health and try to cheat death. I'm General Lotz, wishing you good Fallout 3 and good Fallout New Vegas, whatever makes you happy.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and please consider leaving a like or a comment, as the algorithm desires your soul. And I want to thank all those fans who have supported this channel, both past and present.